Hello and welcome back to my channel, IQD to USD Iraq's economic reforms, currency developments, and the future of the dinar. Iraq is undergoing a period of significant economic transformation, with key reforms aimed at stabilizing its financial system and strengthening the Iraqi dinar. Over the past few years, the country has taken steps to modernize its economy, attract foreign investment, and reduce its reliance on the US dollar. However, while progress is being made, there are still several challenges that need to be addressed before Iraq can fully achieve financial stability. In this article, we will explore Iraq's ongoing economic reforms, the role of the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, the importance of currency revaluation, and the broader geopolitical factors shaping the country's financial future. Additionally, we will discuss how Iraq's approach compares to other global currencies, such as the Vietnamese dong, and what lessons can be learned. Iraq's economic reforms, progress and challenges. For years, Iraq has struggled with economic instability due to political unrest, corruption, and a heavy reliance on oil exports. To combat these challenges, the government has been implementing a series of economic reforms aimed at diversifying its revenue sources and improving financial governance. One of the biggest figures in this reform process is Ali Alak, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI. Alak holds significant authority when it comes to implementing monetary policies and stabilizing the country's financial system. However, his ability to push forward crucial changes is still dependent on certain legislative and political approvals. The role of the 122C Amendment. A critical component of Iraq's reform strategy is the 122C Amendment, a legislative change that is expected to play a key role in shaping Iraq's economic policies. However, delays in approving this amendment have slowed down progress, causing frustration among investors and economic analysts. The delay suggests that Iraq is being strategic about its next steps. Instead of rushing into reforms, the government appears to be carefully aligning different pieces of the puzzle to ensure a smoother transition. While this may be frustrating for those hoping for quick economic changes, a cautious approach could ultimately lead to more sustainable results. Currency revaluation and the future of the Iraqi dinar. One of the most widely discussed topics in Iraq's financial landscape is the potential revaluation, RV, of the Iraqi dinar. Revaluation refers to a significant increase in the official exchange rate of a currency, which can impact the economy in several ways. Why is currency revaluation important? The Iraqi dinar has been undervalued for years, largely due to the country's economic instability and heavy reliance on oil. Many believe that an increase in the dinar's value would provide a much-needed economic boost by increasing the purchasing power of Iraqi citizens and attracting foreign investment. Several reports suggest that a revaluation could be on the horizon, with some analysts predicting that major shifts could happen as early as February 10th. While speculation remains high, it's important to approach these predictions with caution. Fixed versus floating exchange rate. Which is better for Iraq? There has been considerable debate about whether Iraq should adopt a fixed exchange rate or allow the dinar to float against other global currencies. A fixed exchange rate would tie the dinar to a specific value against the US dollar or a basket of international currencies, ensuring stability. However, this could limit Iraq's ability to benefit from market-driven appreciation in the future. A floating exchange rate would allow the dinar's value to rise and fall based on market demand. Supporters of this approach believe that over time, Iraq's economy could strengthen enough to allow the dinar to appreciate naturally. Economic experts such as Frank 26 argue that a floating exchange rate would provide Iraq with greater flexibility and long-term growth potential. However, the Iraqi government has yet to make a definitive decision on which path to take. Reducing Iraq's reliance on the US dollar. For years, Iraq's economy has been deeply tied to the US dollar, but recent policies suggest that the government is actively working to reduce its dependence on the USD. Key policy changes. The Iraqi Stock Exchange ISX businesses and even everyday citizens are now restricted from using the dollar for most transactions. The only exceptions are specific industries, such as medical supplies and equipment, which are still allowed to use USD for international purchases. Iraq's government is encouraging the use of the dinar in both domestic and international trade agreements, strengthening its role as the primary currency in the country. This shift away from the dollar is significant because it represents a move toward greater economic independence. However, transitioning away from the USD will not be easy, as the US dollar has been the backbone of Iraq's financial system for decades. Iraq's geopolitical position and its relationship with the US. In addition to internal economic reforms, Iraq's financial future is also heavily influenced by geopolitical dynamics, particularly its relationship with the United States. How will the US elections impact Iraq? With Donald Trump returning to the presidency in 2025, many are wondering how this will affect Iraq's economic and political landscape. Recent reports indicate that Iraq's leadership feels confident in its relationship with Washington, despite past tensions. A key development in this area is the growing separation between Iraq and Iran. Under previous U.S. administrations, Iraq had been increasingly reliant on Iran, particularly after the U.S. withdrew many of its military forces from the region. However, with ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, Iraq is now shifting its focus toward strengthening ties with Washington. Economic partnerships with the U.S. A recent meeting between Ali Alak and Steve Lutz, Vice President of the American Chamber of Commerce, suggests that Iraq is looking to expand economic and banking relations with the United States. These discussions are crucial because they could lead to increased U.S. investment in Iraq's banking sector, improved trade agreements between the two nations, enhanced financial stability through stronger economic partnerships. If Iraq successfully builds closer ties with the U.S., it could attract more foreign investment, boost economic confidence, and accelerate its reform process. Lessons from Vietnam. How currency strategy affects economic growth. While Iraq focuses on stabilizing the dinar, another country facing similar challenges is Vietnam. Why has Vietnam kept the dong's value low? Unlike Iraq, Vietnam has intentionally kept its currency, the dong, at a low value to maintain export competitiveness. A weaker currency makes Vietnamese goods cheaper on the global market, which has contributed to Vietnam's economic success in recent years. What Iraq can learn from Vietnam. A low currency value is not always a disadvantage. It can help attract foreign buyers and boost exports. Carefully managing exchange rates can provide long-term benefits without the need for sudden revaluation. Instead of focusing solely on increasing the dinar's value, Iraq should develop its economy, improve infrastructure, and encourage investments in sectors beyond oil. While Iraq's situation is different from Vietnam's, there are valuable lessons to be learned about how currency strategy impacts economic growth. Conclusion. What's next for Iraq's economy? Iraq is at a critical turning point in its economic journey. While progress is being made, key challenges remain, including the delay in passing the 122C amendment, uncertainty around currency revaluation, and the shift away from the US dollar. However, the momentum is growing. Iraq's strengthening relationship with the US, efforts to modernize its banking sector, and policies aimed at reducing reliance on foreign currencies all indicate that the country is moving in the right direction. Key takeaways. Economic reforms are ongoing, but progress is slow and strategic. Currency revaluation (RV) remains a topic of speculation, but Iraq is prioritizing financial stability. Iraq is reducing its dependence on the US dollar, signaling a push for economic independence. Geopolitical shifts, particularly Iraq's growing ties with the US, could play a significant role in shaping its financial future. Lessons from Vietnam suggest that Iraq should focus on economic development, not just currency appreciation. With careful planning and continued reforms, Iraq has the potential to achieve long-term economic growth. While the timing of major changes remains uncertain, the country is undoubtedly making moves that could set the stage for a stronger, more stable financial system. What do you think? Will Iraq's economic reforms lead to a stronger dinar, or are we still in a waiting game?